Well, hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to give you a quick kind of observation, interesting idea I had based on the interview I did yesterday with Buddy of Alien Protocols, where I interviewed him. It was quite an interesting interview, so if you haven't seen it, I suggest that you take a look. But one of the things that we were talking about there were, these Tic Tac UFOs, the Nimitz incident of 2004, and some of these leaked documents that Buddy received. And if you don't know about the Nimitz 2004 incidents and the Tic Tacs, the hundreds of UFOs that they saw around this carrier strike group for a period of about a week or so, moved around 80,000 feet down to the ocean level. We're seeing rendezvousing with craft underneath the ocean and so forth. It's very interesting stuff. Could turn out to be one of the most significant UFO events ever. We've recently found out that maybe 100, 200 other people in that carrier group were aware of the incidents, people who worked on the ships in radar control and systems management and all that, communications. And that we've only heard a few. A man named Kevin Day came forward on Coast to Coast in June and talked about confirming everything that the F-18 pilot David Fravor said he saw, and the ability of these objects to cloak themselves to basically neutralize the target weapons acquisition, electronic systems on these F-18, stuff like that. And now we find out there are other pilots, and some of them had been named. But one of the things that Buddy described about the nature of these Tic Tacs, how they're organized, caught my attention based on these leaked documents he's received. Now, assuming that these documents are real and they seem to be legitimate, they were on the TTSA website, the To the Stars Academy website, in a kind of a redacted form, and somehow he ended up with the originals. So we can see what the redacted versions look like, and these are the same without all the stuff blacked out on it. But he talked about this, the way the Tic Tacs are organized. There are a few motherships higher up outside the Earth's atmosphere, kind of these saucer-shaped craft, more of those, and then the saucer-shaped craft release these Tic Tacs, these 40-foot kind of oblong-shaped objects that Commander Fravor talked about and so forth. And then those Tic Tacs release a lot of little 3-foot drones, according to these documents. And these are all moving around so fast, you probably won't see them because they can go extremely quickly. But apparently, there's a lot more of these little 3-foot drones. So immediately, I'm thinking about this, and what does it sound like to you, that type of distribution? If you've, followed my channel at all, some of the subjects we cover here, what does it sound like? Exactly right, fractals. That is the way fractal systems are distributed. And this is something I just happen to have studied for quite a long time. Fractal geometry, the way nature looks, the way your lung structure, branches off in trees and hair and clouds. And actually everything in nature is basically organized in this fractured, repeating, self-similar, scaleless pattern. You might have seen the Mandelbrot set, Julia sets, other types of fractals where you have a couple big objects, some more smaller, one slightly smaller than the big objects, and then a lot of little teensy-weensy objects ad infinitum, right? It's like that famous poem, fleas have smaller fleas on them, on their backs to bite them, and the smaller fleas have even weensier fleas, and so on, infinitum, right? I got that from Alan Watts, by the way, the Buddhist philosopher. But that's what fractals are. And, it's not surprising that, this is how nature looks. Things in nature look like fractals. So many different things. They have different fractal dimensions. We can quantify it. But I just wanted to suggest, if these Tic Tac UFOs, we're calling them UFOs so far because we don't know, whose they are. I asked Buddy last night, are they manned? Are they robotic? We don't totally know. But I just want to suggest that fractal systems like this and patterns are their own communication systems. And it's quite possible that a fleet of Tic Tacs like this with smaller drones and larger motherships, the very mathematical arrangement there, that might be their communication systems. It wouldn't even be like radios or some other way to communicate them. But that mathematical structure is its own communication system. I'm just suggesting that it's something to think about. It's built into the structure, the mathematical structure of those types of arrangements, works with flowers and all sorts of living things. And it would make sense that a kind of an advanced civilization would mimic fractal patterns. I mean, why fight it? That's how nature works. It's everything around us is fractals. Yeah, all those lines we've seen around us those are man-made things. We like to make lines for some reason. Fractal flattening. But that's, roads and dams and everything. Flatten everything out. But that's not how nature works. And it'd be very interesting to find out if these UFO civilizations, wherever they're from, we talked about a little bit about this last night, ET, interdimensional from our own Earth, wherever. It would make sense that civilizations that have been around a long time would adopt a fractal structure and not the linear kind of hierarchical structures that we use, but that it would have a fractal distribution. And maybe that's what's going on here, because it has a lot of interesting emergent properties when you use fractal structures. So anyway, just an interesting observation. I hope you get a chance to look at my interview last night with Buddy, and as usual, let me know what you think. Okay, that's it for now. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.